You know, Billy, what worries me is how your mother's going to take this.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most frightening, conniving, and heartless sociopaths ever to appear on screen. Spoilers ahead.
Drainage! Drainage, Eli, you boy.
Number 10, Tom Ripley, the talented Mr. Ripley.
Well, whatever you do, however terrible, however hurtful, it all makes sense, doesn't it? In your head. You never meet anybody who thinks they're a bad person.
Tom Ripley is an empty shell of a person. The central figure of the 1999 film, who originally appeared in Patricia Highsmith's novels, is an expert impersonator and liar. He has no problem carrying on a pretend identity in order to preserve a lavish lifestyle that's not even his, nor does he mind offing anyone who tries to blow his cover.
Is there something you'd like to say, Freddie?
What?
Do you have something you'd like to say?
I think I'm saying it. Something's going on.
That said, Matt Damon's performance makes it hard for us to think of Ripley as an unfeeling monster. It's hinted that he struggled with insecurity, and his longing to be among the elite is actually pretty relatable. No matter how you shake it though, Mr. Ripley's most prevalent talent is his ability to deceive.
I always thought it would be better to be a fake somebody than a real nobody.
Number 9, Mrs. Mott, aka Peyton Flanders, the hand that rocks the cradle.
Something the matter, Claire?
This 1992 thriller begins with Mrs. Mott's life falling apart. After losing her husband, her money, and her chance to be a mother all at once, she becomes hell-bent on getting revenge against the woman she believes caused it all. She becomes a nanny for protagonist Claire and convinces the whole family she's trustworthy.
Peyton, if something happens to my mommy, you take care of me.
But when strange things start happening to the couple, their 2 children, and several others, Mrs. Mott's insidiousness is brought to life. Maybe Mrs. Mott's plight makes you feel sorry for her, but as her actions become more and more sinister, it's hard to be sympathetic at all.
They never caught who did it. But I firmly believe what goes around comes around.
Number 8, Lou Bloom, Nightcrawler.
You filmed him dying.
Hey, that's what I do. It's my job. I like to say that if you're seeing me, you're having the worst day of your life.
Dan Gilroy's 2014 directorial debut presents a scathing critique of modern media, specifically commenting on the industry's lack of humanity. We watch small-time criminal Lou Bloom, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, grow into a successful freelance journalist by exploiting and sometimes even causing the most gruesome crime scenes possible. Lou will stop at nothing to get the best footage, even if that means cheating, deceiving, and threatening his way to the top.
My motto is, if you want to win the lottery, you have to make the money to buy a ticket.
He also displays an inflated sense of self-worth. Despite the fact that most people would call his behavior reprehensible, Bloom's character is defined by a lack of compassion, serving to illustrate the film's argument. The drive for profit and fame can bring out the very worst traits in the very worst people.
What if my problem wasn't that I don't understand people, but that I don't like them?
Number 7, Alex Forrest, Fatal Attraction.
What am I supposed to do? You won't answer my calls. You changed your number. I mean, I'm not going to be ignored, Dan.
Glenn Close's character in this 1987 classic is proof that not everyone takes rejection well. After having a one-night stand with a married man, Alex Forrest begins stalking him, and eventually his wife and young daughter as well. The harassment grows steadily worse until she becomes a threat to their safety.
Operator, this is a real emergency. Please, you need to give me that number.
Close does an amazing job of bringing life to Alex and her serious mental health problems, yet still drawing forth audience sympathy. While her increasingly creepy behavior and tendency to play the victim make it difficult to root for her, it's only natural to feel a little sorry for this lonely woman. Just don't let her near your pet rabbit.
It's so sad. You know that, Alex? Lonely and very sad.
Number 6, Alex DeLarge, A Clockwork Orange.
What we were after now was the old surprise visit. That was a real kick, and good for laughs and lashings of the old ultra-violent.
The anti-hero of Stanley Kubrick's 1971 classic is heartlessness personified. A juvenile delinquent in a dystopian society, Alex loves the suffering of others more than anything else. He constantly strives to uphold his status as the leader of his gang by committing the most heinous crimes imaginable. You might even say these sadistic acts give Alex a twisted way of defining himself. Even more disturbing, he views ultra-violence as the ultimate fun, the experiment the authorities perform on him, which causes him to develop a physical aversion to violence and sex, nearly results in his undoing. But by the film's end, his sociopathic identity is restored.
How many did I get right?
Oh, it's not that kind of a test, but you seem well on the way to making a complete recovery.
Number 5, Captain Vidal, Pan's Labyrinth.
Vas a contárnoslo todo, ¿verdad? Porque precisamente para eso
Hemos traído unas cosillas.
The bad guy in this 2006 dark fantasy flick is proof that the real world is plenty scary on its own. In Francois, Spain, main character Ophelia meets her new stepfather for the first time and senses his malevolence right away. It turns out that Captain Vidal has been tasked with hunting down rebels, a duty he carries out extra passionately and with zero remorse.
Y si para que nos enteremos todos hay que matar a esos hijos de puta, pues los matamos. Y ya está.
And that's not to mention the uncaring way he treats his wife and stepdaughter, which only further demonstrates his obsession with control. The world of Vidal's mind is much darker than any we can dream up, one where the lives of the innocent have no value if they're in your way.
Decidle a qué hora murió su padre. Decidle que yo...
No. Ni siquiera sabrá tu nombre.
Number 4, Amy Dunn, Gone Girl.
Gone. And my lazy, lying, cheating, oblivious husband will go to prison for my murder.
Amy may aim to be cool, but her actions are anything but. Obsessed with appearing perfect, Amy meticulously orchestrates a series of events, faking her own disappearance and framing her husband for murder. Throughout the story, she seamlessly switches between the charming wife and calculating killer roles, all while maintaining a facade of innocence.
My cute, charming, salt-of-the-earth Missouri guy. He needed to learn.
People aren't people to Amy. They're more like tools, objects to be used as pawns in her devious plan. Her willingness to cause harm for personal gain shows a disregard for the well-being of others, even those who, for some reason, love her.
I've killed for you. Who else can say that? You think you'd be happy with a nice Midwestern girl? No way, baby. I'm it.
Number 3, Daniel Plainview, There Will Be Blood.
I have a competition in me. I want no one else to succeed.
Only the legendary Daniel Day-Lewis could have mastered a character as soulless as Plainview. In Paul Thomas Anderson's acclaimed 2007 film, Plainview is driven by unbridled ambition and ruthlessness. Like so many others on this list, he appears to those around him as a decent man. However, behind their backs, he's constantly exploiting and using people, even his adopted son, for financial gain.
What are you looking so miserable about? There's a whole ocean of oil under our feet. No one can get at it except for me.
Plainview's ability to charm and deceive while concealing his dark nature leaves audiences disturbed, not to mention in awe of another impeccable Day-Lewis performance. Watch the infamous I Drink Your Milkshake exchange at the end, and you'll see why Plainview is counted among the most iconic movie sociopaths.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up!
Number 2, Nurse Ratchet, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
If Mr. McMurphy doesn't want to take his medication orally, I'm sure we can arrange that he can have it some other way.
Nurse Ratchet is arguably the nastiest medical professional in the history of fiction. Even those who haven't seen the 1975 movie, read the 1962 novel, or watched the prequel series on Netflix are familiar with this cold-hearted caregiver. Ratchet's icy demeanor and authoritarian rule create an oppressive atmosphere in which patients are stripped of their dignity and autonomy.
There are 18 patients on this ward, Mr. McMurphy, and you have to have a majority to change ward policy. So you gentlemen can put your hands down now.
You could argue that a corrupt healthcare system made her what she is, but watch her put her patients through hell, and you'll probably say it's more of a her issue. As she attempts to cultivate her twisted definition of order, Ratchet doles out a wide range of punishments, from withholding her patients cigarettes to subjecting them to physical torture. Talk about abuse of power.
Don't have to tell her, Miss Ratchet.
I don't have to tell her. Your mother and I are old friends, you know that.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Commodus, Gladiator.
They tell me your son squealed like a girl when they nailed him to the cross.
At the top of our list is Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal of a real-life Roman dictator. While it might be said that society held different ethical standards back then, Commodus's cruelty seems more innate than a product of the times. Throughout the movie, we see him take out anyone who stands in his way, be it man, woman, child, or even his own father.
You loved my father, I know. But so did I. That makes us brothers, doesn't it?
On top of that, he's shown to take great joy in watching gladiators battle to the death and be torn apart by tigers. We do get a few hints that he has the ability to form genuine relationships, such as with his sister Lucilla. However, even she winds up victimized by him by the end. Commodus, a sociopath of epic proportions.
And if his mother so much as looks at me in a manner that displeases me, he will die.
Do you agree with our list? Join the discussion in the comments.
Sin? What's all this about sin?
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.